بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. And wa alaikum salam to all of you who extended the greetings to me and to others. Please share this session, inshallah ta'ala. Because sometimes the notifications don't reach people. And sometimes because of my own schedule, I schedule it late and it doesn't really reach everyone. But you should know in general, just as a general rule, I'm every day going to start between 7 and 7:10. If I don't start by 7:10, something usually is max 7:15, something is going wrong. Meaning I'm not able to get there, some reason. So just schedule and I'm a consistent person with this. I may not be consistent in other stuff, but this I'm consistent with. So you can expect at 7 o'clock or thereabout, I'm going to be on. Unless I already told you I'm doing something or I'm traveling. But even if I'm traveling, if I have internet access, I'm going to be on. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Ahabbul a'mali ila Allah adwamuha wa in qalla." Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the most beloved of all the actions to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala are those which are consistent, which are ongoing, even if they're little. So even if you don't do a lot of things, do something continuously without interruption. And the ulama, they said about that, a little that is consistent is far better than a lot that is interrupted. That's nice. They said a little that is continuous is far better than a lot which is interrupted. Man, I like that. Let me say that again. A little which is consistent is far better than a lot which is interrupted. And I'll give you an example of that in my Malcolm voice. When I was in prison, don't look at me strange when I say I was in prison. You still in prison. That's what America means, prison. I was in my bag this morning. But when I was in prison, I had one of my sheikhs. We used to study the obligatory knowledge for a half an hour. with 15-minute phone calls. Because, you know, in the prison, you don't get a long time to talk on the phone. So we would have a class for 15 minutes. Then I'd call back and then speak another 15 minutes. So we would have every day a half an hour session. They had the phones programmed like for 15 minutes only. But I finish texts like that in half an hour every day. And I would finish books like that on the phone with my teacher. And when I look back on those days, I benefited so much from those little short half an hour classes every single day, right? And there was really, really beneficial. To this day, that methodology I still use with private students that I have, that we study in half an hour blocks. And everyone who's done that was very successful, inshallah ta'ala. So let me continue where we were talking about the African American Islamic Summit coming up. And we're only like 10 days away. So we're very close. So I remind you, CP time is nice, but CP time also makes for hard organizing. So I know we like to come at the door. We wait to the last minute, decide what we're going to do. We already know what we're going to do, but we want to wait to the last minute before we commit. I'm asking you, please don't do that if you don't have to do that, right? So here's the link. Please get your tickets. Share the link with all your loved ones and your friends. This, I believe, is going to be the most important summit that we've ever had. Out of the 4 previous ones we had, this one, I believe, is going to be the most beneficial. And the reason I believe that is because this summit is going to be our summit. What do I mean by that? We're going to be us. It's not going to be formal. It's not going to be organized. I hate that word, organized. Don't I, Islam Muhammad? Don't I hate organized? I hate that word. I do. I don't like it. I want it to be real. I want it to be heart to heart. I don't want it to be prepared. I want it to be us. Don't come with no prepared speech. Come with your heart. I need time. Then you ain't the one for this conference if you need time. People in this conference, people in this summit, their heart is always on time. If you got to prepare to talk, you shouldn't be talking. If you got to be prepared to ask a question, you shouldn't be asking no questions. That means you ain't living it. I never need to prepare to talk about the situation of my people. I'm always ready, all the time. And that's how we should be. If you're not ready to express the needs of your people, if you're not ready, yeah, that's right, Imam Genius, just like the round table. Come like you come every week. All right, I'm not so emotional as I was yesterday. MashaAllah, I'm much more normal. But honestly, I want real people. I want you to be real, and I want all the presenters to be real. I don't want no flowery, prepared rhetoric. Nah, what's the real issue? Let's have a heart to heart. Let's be prepared to deal with whatever we have to deal with, as we have to do every day on the ground. Whatever confronts us, we ready. That's how Black people should be. That's how Black Muslims should be. That doesn't negate, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have some kind of loose structure, right? We should. But at the same time, we're coming to build. And a lot of times, when you're building, you know, you're going to come up with issues that you didn't write on the paper. You're going to come up with ideas that ain't written down. And they may be the most important things. But when it's all structured and organized and then laid out, most of the real stuff going to be forgotten. And all the nonsense going to come to the top. And it's just going to be formed without no reality. Because the real work is not necessarily at the summit. The real work is what you're going to do after the summit. And the impact of that is going to be the real work, because most of us get fired up from a good speech, get fired up from a good gathering, get fired up. But as soon as that speech is done, as soon as that gathering is done, so are we. Done. And when we're done, our people are done. So for me, and since I have the pleasure of directing it, there ain't going to be no script. It's going to be off the cuff. It's going to be real. It's going to be a heart to heart. It's going to be a Black Imam round table special. But we're going to enjoy ourselves and we're going to get the job done. Now, for some of us, formulas is going to drive us crazy because it ain't going to fit in your schedule. But it ain't for you if you need a schedule. Black people don't need no schedule. Black people need results. All right, this has a background. I'm just having fun. Don't pay me no attention. I'm serious, but I'm joking in the same way. All right. So now we talked about the first aspect of the summit, and that is not in order necessarily, but we're talking about our people. Our people, particularly African American, Black, Afro American, Negro, descendants of slave, ex-African descendants of ex-slaves, whatever you want to call us, you know who we're talking about. That's that formal stuff. What name we're going to call it. Don't damn matter what name. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about you. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about me. And it's only you and me, and we having these conversations because no one else dealing with our problems. You know who I'm talking about. Stop trying to formalize it with a name. Talk about yourself, your reality. That's real. You know what I'm talking about. Right? So for us, we are our people, and we are a people. I'm telling you, one of the most things that hurt me the most I'll be honest, is a pleasure and a pain at the same time. When I watch others work together, cooperate for their people, and they don't have to say a word. But I watch Black people, even to work together on behalf of their people, it got to be qualified. It got to be explained. It can't just be. But for everyone else, it's just be. But for us, it's always qualified, explained away. Why are you being Black? Because I am. That same reason why you what you are. And it never got to be explained. It just goes through. But when it's Black people, and it ain't because of others, it's because of Black people. I don't blame no one else for our reason that we don't want to be who we are. That's our problem. That ain't no one else's problem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you who you are, created you the way you are, created you in the position you are, and that's what he wanted for you. Now you just got to be it. That's reality. And I'm speaking firsthand because I understand how it is to get in a mindset that make you don't want to be yourself, whatever yourself is. And that needs to be defined. That needs to be organized. I agree. Because we don't know who we are still to this day as a collective. You know, you get this individual. I know who I am. I'm a proud Black man, a Black woman. Okay, define that for me, my brother, my sister, that it can be used for the collective, not just for you as an individual. And that's why the summit is necessary. Because many of us don't even know what it means to be a Black man or a Black woman. We don't. What does that look like? Because it never was organized and structured and passed down to us to know what that looks like. What does a successful Black Muslim in America look like? In all facets of life, what does that look like? What does a strong Black Muslim family in America look like? What does a strong Black Muslim community in America look like? What does it really look like? And can it be some sort of uniformity with it? Or does it just have to be scattered? That got to be discussed. And maybe it is this generation's job to define that, to solidify that, to codify that, to systematize that, and to make it work. Maybe that's our job. Maybe that's our job. And I want to share something to you because sometimes we like to romanticize the past and don't apply it to our reality. If you look at our present, I'm going to say something real bold. Before I say it, and before Imam Genius get mad at me, let me qualify what I'm getting ready to say. I think y'all been around me enough to know that I'm a realist. I say what I say. I feel the way I feel. Leave it or love it. I don't really care. This is the reality, how I see it. I've never been good at political correctness. I'm horrible at it. It's not my style, right? I am who I am, and it is what it is. That's just the way I am, right? Even when I try to be politically correct, it never works. I always end up doing something that's not politically correct. You know, we're going to do something different this year. We're going to add an element to our studies. I'm not going to let the cat out the bag, but I can let it a little out the bag. I can put his head out. We're going to spend some time on this platform discovering what it means to be a Black Muslim in America. And we're going to make that, inshallah, a historic as well as a present as well as a futuristic study and research, because I think it's important. I want everyone to be able to say, I'm black. I'm black, I'm Muslim, and I'm proud of it. And I'm dignified by it. No more put your head down when you're in front of someone else. Even if you put your head down in your heart and not physically. You lower yourself, not for submission to Allah, out of inferiority. No, I want you to stand tall, no matter where you go. Don't let nobody push you to the back of the bus or the camel or anything else. No, you belong at the head, and you better get there. You belong in front. You should be leading the charge. But the one in front got to have some guts, got to have some heart, got to have some courage, got to have some dignity, got to look favorable toward themselves, or you don't belong in the front. But you always invited in America, Fatima. You are a soldier. I wish you was here, right at Masjid Muhammad, and we could be on the front lines rumbling. But so we're going to take a time, a massive time, to do something that's totally off the cuff. Totally off the cuff. I mean, what the heck? Yeah. Because you know what? We've been hoodwinked in the name of the deen, and we don't realize it. We have. And it has put us 50 years behind. We just don't realize it yet. We'll see it later if we don't make a change. We'll see it. But we've been played big time. In this discussion, I debate with anybody and I will crush them in this discussion. Who disagree, I would crush them. I would have this debate all day and eat you for breakfast. I have no doubt about it. We as a people have been played in the name of Islam. Has nothing to do with the deen. It is how the deen has been presented to us. We've been played. We've been sold a bag of goods. It has nothing to do with the deen of Islam. The deen of Islam is kamil. It's perfect. It's complete. The way it was presented us is naqis, is deficient. And I stand on that. The deen, Islam, is complete. The way it was given to us, black people, was deficient. No doubt about it. I have no doubt I can prove it. I would debate it with the best. And if anyone doubt me, I'll debate you. Open public challenge. Anytime, any place, anywhere, we can have this debate. If you don't think we've been given the deen in a deficient manner, and I believe it was calculated that we don't rise up because of it, that we would have an Islam that doesn't work. And that's exactly what we have. We don't have Islam as it is. We have Islam as it's been presented, and it doesn't work. And it hasn't worked, and it won't work the way it's been given to us. I'm convinced. And it has nothing to do with the deen at all. In fact, it's polar opposite of Islam, the way we've been given it. And some people may say, oh, what are you talking about? No, you know what I'm talking about. You live what I'm talking about. You just don't want to deal with your reality. You live what I'm talking about. You live it. You live it every single day. You feel it, you know it, but you've been told not to speak about it, not to deal with it, to act like it don't exist, despite the fact it's right in front of your face. And what we would like to do through the summit, through all of this, is to change that. Because we need Islam to work for us. We need an Islam that will give us empowerment, an upward movement. That's the kind of Islam we need. But we have to do that. No one's going to do that for us. If I didn't benefit from the words of Sheikh Samir one time, I'm a lot of benefit. But one thing he said, I think I told y'all this before. One day, I was out of my mind, and I went to the Sheikh, and I said, I want to move to Syria with you. I'm tired. I want to go to Syria and just be with you. I was out of my mind. And he looked at me. May Allah reward him. He said, your work ain't in Syria. You need to be here with your people. They need you. I never will forget that. He said, and I can't help you. I can give you guidance, but you have to do the work. That's your job. And when he said that, it registered to me what I'm missing. It registered. It stuck in my mind. I never forgot it. And that's for all of us. That meaning is for all of us. So let's go to the family. So we talked about our people. We talked about, and briefly, just to give you what the individual, right? So individually, we said how we all have to be. We have to be strong Black men and women. Garrett, I'll just throw your post back up later so I won't forget it. So individuals, all of us got to be strong individuals. Stop coming to spaces and going in the back. I'm telling you, I see things, and I'm not racially sensitive. I do observe the obvious. A lot of people have the position when they see in Muslim spaces, when they see a Black Muslim, first of all, they wonder if he's really a Muslim. And secondly, they want to push him to the outskirts of the gathering. Don't never let no one do that to you. You deserve to be in the front of the gathering with everyone else. It's a natural thing. Yo, all right, move over. You're in the way. I mean, you get out of here. You in the way. That's how you have to be. And you have to be deliberate so that the other ones of us who are with you realize that they have a space. Don't let nobody push you in the back. Make them pull you up front. Don't do that. Yeah, Muti, you better watch. They better watch their mouth, huh? Facebook will tag you. Ask Gigi. Say the wrong thing. They don't. These algorithms don't understand context. They just hear words. But so individually, we all have to be lions. Put that, please put this up. Individually, no, you can't see. Honestly, oops, messed that up. Individually, we all have to be lions. That should be an eye, right? Yeah, that should be an eye. Can't see. Right? Here goes somebody with all this proper stuff. Right? I ain't saying nothing about no lioness. I need you to be a lion. Well, technically, that's not grammatically correct. You got the point. I need you to be a lion. Well, you know, the lioness is much stronger. Right? Oh my goodness. See, that's where formality and realness get clash. You got my point? You know what I mean by be a lion? If you need to be a lioness, all right, in this fight, you need to be a lion too. Nah, but I got your point. Right? So each of us got to be like that. All of us have to rule the jungle. Every single one of us. And in order to do that, we have to be firm in our Islamic knowledge because we are Muslim. We are Muslim. So our constitution is Islam with all of its flexibility to deal with the realities of the world. So we have to know our Islam, right? And if you don't know your Islam, you're always going to be inferior. So learn your deen. And when you learn your deen, you're going to discover the one who's trying to put you on the back of the camel or the back of the bus or the back of wherever the heck they on the outskirts of the gathering don't know their deen like that. You'll discover that too when you learn. This, you don't even know. You need to go sit down and learn before you start pushing me to the side. Seriously. You need to go sit down and learn before you start pushing me to the side. So for us individually, and that's learning our religious knowledge well, practicing well, developing states, and then being exactly as an individual proud of who Allah created you to be and as you are, and you're dignified by that. Like that's Allah created you in the best of forms. Be proud of that. Not arrogant, but dignified. Have some self-esteem, some self-honor with yourself. This is who Allah created me as, and Allah created you the way you are, and you should be. And together, we realize that that's a mercy from Allah because it gave us all something special. So that's the individual. Now let's move to the family. I need you to put on your seatbelts here because I'm going to talk about family probably in 2 or 3 sessions. And I hope the reader pardons me because she's getting ready to travel with her family to the summit. So I'm just trying to give her, she's worked hard and trying to give her a break while we discuss this summit. Because I'm going to set the tone, right? So that all of the presenters already know where I'm going. So all that fluffy, fake stuff, leave that stuff wherever it may come from. We ain't having it, right? This got to be real. So the family. The family at its foundation consists of husband, wife, wives, and children. The foundation of the family. I'll repeat that. It consists of husband, wife, or wives, and children. That's the base. Then extends to immediate family, relatives of extended family. It extends from the blood. Then it extends to neighbors and all of that. And to people who love you, they become like a family, right? So let's take that foundational thing. But all of those that make up the family are first individuals. So that's why I said we have to talk about individuals. Because if you as an individual are not whole, you're going to destroy a family. Can we put that up? If you as an individual is not whole, you will destroy a family. Can we please put that up? That needs to be understood. If you as an individual are not whole, W-H-O-L-E, you will destroy a family. Can we put that up? This is very important to understand. A lot of us are broken. A lot of us are broken. So we can't join a family. And I'm going to tell you something. I always make it personal so no one else got to feel personal. So somebody said, why are you talking about yourself? Because so you can't handle it, I can. So therefore, I'll talk about me and you use me as example to relate to yourself. Because a lot of us can't be real with ourselves. We know we broke. We know we tore up, but we don't want to admit it. But we don't fix it. We just go into something broken. So let me deal with me. I know in my rough road to learn how to be a family, I've destroyed a lot of families. I'm saying personally. I'm speaking to me. Now you can use an analogy and apply the same mistakes to yourself. I know for sure this ain't my first rodeo in marriage. But I hope it's my last rodeo. But it ain't my first. Right? And trust me, I've left some broken hearts and some broken families. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala overlook my shortcomings. But I could give multiple reasons why that happened. And now, as a mature man who's developed his emotional and physical and mental capacities, I can look back and say, yeah, that was a mistake. You was tripping. I could do that now. When I was in the midst of it, I was all right. And it was the other person's fault. Even the children's fault. That's hindsight. And as they say, hindsight is 20/20 vision. But now I reflect and I say, there was your mistake. There was your mistake. There was your mistake. There was, yes, right, Farouk. Brothers, you on the menu. Farouk, you are an excellent cook. You know what we having today. And I'm going to tell you why brothers are on the menu. And I'm a brother, so I say use me by analogy, because we're the men. We're responsible. And one of the things that destroy our family is that the men have become women and the women trying to be men. The roles have switched and we voluntarily gave them up. And that's why our families are destroyed as a collective, not every individual. So whenever I'm talking about collective. I'm not talking about your particular good situation. It doesn't reflect all of us. And I'm talking about primarily our grassroots families, right? There's always exceptions to the rule, so we're not talking about the exception. So when I say that, if I think of my biggest mistake in destroying Black families, meaning my own, right, was the fact that I wasn't emotionally mature enough to deal with the emotional imbalance of Black women. I'm gonna repeat that. If I could look back and say my biggest mistake and error was that I wasn't emotionally mature enough to deal with the emotional imbalance of Black women. To me, I think that was my biggest mistake. There are others, but if I wanted to single out, what was the biggest thing that you've done wrong? That I didn't understand what Black women go through emotionally. I didn't understand it, nor was I sensitive to it. And that's a key element to building a family, because the woman is the one who's the center of your family, a good woman. But for you, as a man, you have to be emotionally mature enough to navigate that deep, vast ocean with huge waves slamming to you. And you have to take your ship right through it with smoothness. And that's hard without letting your ship tip over. But most of us, for whatever reason, are not capable of that. We don't even have the capacity, period. And guess what? We're still learning how to do that. Right? I don't claim to know how to do it. I just recognize it needs to be done. That's a challenge. That's a summit issue alone. That is a summit in itself. How to be emotionally mature to deal with the emotional imbalance, because it is an imbalance there, of our women, especially the Black woman. Because you got to remember, she's carrying the weight of the family on her shoulders. And when you emotionally check out, you've made that burden much heavier. When you emotionally check out, you're emotionally detached, an emotional midget. When it comes to dealing with that, you've made it much more difficult. You've increased the burden. And most of us do it all the time. Brothers, would you agree with me? Would you agree? If you be honest, or you still an emotional midget and you can't even be honest. This is real. We've seen it in our mothers. Forget Islam. That's why I said we got to be Black. We've seen our mothers struggle, and sometimes we watch our fathers check out. Come on, let's be real. We've seen it. We've seen it. We know it. So keep it real. Don't act like we don't know what we're talking about. We do. The first road to recovery, Issa, is admittance. There will be no recovery without admitting where you went wrong. You have to accept. So that's a challenge. And most of us haven't been taught how to be emotionally mature. We don't know. We're trying to figure that out. So the woman is emotionally imbalanced because of all the pressures that's on her, and she doesn't have an emotionally mature man as a release valve. The woman is emotionally imbalanced because of all the pressure that is put on her, and she doesn't have an emotionally mature man to serve as a release valve. So when you have all that pressure, it's going to cause damage. That's natural. If that pressure builds up and there's nothing to release it, bam, you shot. That's going to explode. It's going to be a problem. So our women have been just waiting to exhale and really waiting to explode with all the pressure that's on them. And then you don't have that emotionally mature man to say, baby, I got it. He's gone. Even if he's physically there, he's emotionally checked out, so he can't serve the purpose of the release valve. This is real stuff. Now, so brothers, that's nice, Shaheed. That's nice. Brothers, we have to accept our responsibilities, right? We do. We have responsibilities. And we can't shirk that. We are responsible for leading our families. But it's not just with your might and your money. A lot of it, really, the centerpiece of it is your emotional maturity. Seriously. You can have all the muscle and might you want. You can have all the money you want. But if you can't combine that with emotional navigation tools, you're going to destroy the family. Trust me. No, it's serious stuff. Serious stuff. And in the Black Muslim community, this is an issue we don't be touching. And we need to deal with it if we're going to talk about family. I'm going to stop here because I want to put a pin in it here. But I want to go to another thing. Sisters, because I saw a lot of y'all, a group of y'all, are on a mission to find you a husband. Listen. Sisters, are y'all listening? Please, do I have your attention? I know you're lonely. I know your knobs are driving you crazy. But you don't want to make the mistake because of your loneliness and your desires and your nafs to marry some emotionally immature midget. Seriously, don't make that mistake. They are available in abundance. They sound good. They may even look good until you get with them. And then when you get with them, it's too late. And once you get with them, all you've done was increase your ultimate emotional dysfunction and imbalance. When you go get with this immature, emotionally immature midget who you think is a man, all you did was add more pain to your already existing painful symptoms. I'm telling you that. So sometimes when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't give you what your desires call for, say alhamdulillah and be patient and be grateful. Because you may run into a Mack truck thinking it's a bicycle. No, I'm serious. We have a saying. I know y'all might not like this, brothers, but where I come from, in my group of brothers, we on man time, big time, right? And let me put the numbers down so it don't sound bad. 85% of men are chumps in this time. Put what I put up there. 85% of the men in our time are chumps. Seriously. Chumps. Ask any imam, he'll tell you if he be honest. Ask any black imam that 85% of the black men period, but we're speaking specifically about us, are chumps. Seriously. Chumps. So sis, you got a small, and I just put the numbers down. It could go higher. Yeah. What? No. Imam Naeem, are you there? Imam Fahim, am I correct? Let's be honest. Black imams, speak up. Any imam who's listening that's black, be honest. Be honest. Be honest what you working with. And I ain't talking about can you fight. I ain't talking about I can put up my hands. I'm talking about being responsible, being emotionally mature, being able to handle the pressure, being able to take on the burden. Most of you jokers run. Come on, stop. We know it, and be honest. And there's 2 imams, and I'm quite sure there's some more. Imam Naeem said yes, and Imam Fahim is right there. They're my black imams, and they don't just follow me. Most of these jokers are soft as cotton. And I ain't talking about I'll fight you, another brother. But if I put some pressure on you, you're going to crack like a coward. I know it. I see it all the time. You're not prepared. That's real. So sis, that's what you chasing after. If I put the responsibility that's on these imams or most of these jokers, they are run. That's real. And I'm not putting you down. There's a reason why we're like that, but it's real. And I live it. And brothers around me know, I'll tell you quick. Come on, man, you ain't cut like that. Stop. Stop. You'll come up with an excuse as fast as I blink. I know it. And you know why I can tell you that? Let me tell you. Let me give you an easy measuring stick for that. Go around the country and look at our communities and our masajid and their productivity and the men in the masjid. You find that most of the masjid are ran by the women. We're the men. We're the men. Most of the hard work in our masjid are done by the women. We're the men. We're the men. And there's my dalil. I don't think I need another one. You got black men who won't build their own, they'll go and be a second-class citizen in an immigrant masjid instead of being a man and build your own. I mean, keep it real. And you'll use that to say, oh, we on the sunnah. You a chunk. You ain't on no sunnah. Knock it off. Why can't you be on the sunnah and build your own? And come to the table like a man with other communities instead of coming as a boy, surrendering to other communities, talking about you on the sunnah. Negro, you don't get out my face. Let's keep it real. And I've seen a bunch of these chumps do that. And they'll go to the immigrant masjid, sit in the nosebleed section, kiss the hands of someone else, and then come fight their own black leaders. You a chump. Hey, I see it firsthand. I'm calling a spade, like it or not. That's real. Imam Naim, am I wrong? Imam Fahim, am I wrong? Y'all see it too. Come on, we got imams. We got leaders. You know it. So what I say is, sister, that's what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about. That's the one you rushing to marry. And then you're going to come back to the imam talking about why you ain't tell me about him. I did. Why you ain't listen? Because you were lonely and your nafs was calling for someone, and that's why you went and married that mess? That's why you did it? And now it's our fault? Nah, it ain't my fault. You need to listen for your own good. This is real stuff. And listen, I'm telling you, most of the support on our platform is from women, not men. From women, black women, not black men. Black men sitting in the back talking about who that nigga think he is. That's us. Instead of saying, good, brother, you standing up, let me stand beside you and let me rock this boat. He in the back talking about, man, dudes think they all that. It's his ego. No, it ain't my ego. Why don't you stand here with me? In fact, why don't you get in front and take some shots and stop sitting in the back talking junk? That's reality. Come on, why don't you get up front and take some shots? Come on. You won't learn. You won't practice. You won't do the work. You won't take the shots, and you talking junk. Come on, come take some bullets. Get up front. Let me see you. Because you the imam of the house. Why don't you be the imam in the streets? You quick to say that. I'm the imam in this house. Y'all go ask the imam on me. I'm the imam. All right, well, get your butt out here and be the imam then. Stop being the imam in the house where the doors are closed. Get out in the front in the society where real men gonna check you. Where real men gonna challenge you. Come on, get out here. I don't see you. So I'm being honest, sisters. And brothers know. Brothers know it. We know. And I'm telling you, it is something that we have to fix. And listen, I'm a man. You can tell me whatever. I can take it. I listen. For me, this ain't a conversation I'm just going to have online. No. We can have this face to face. And we could talk like we really talk. Because online, I can't say what I really want to say to you. Right? So we online, I gotta, certain words I gotta use. But if we was face to face, I could tell you in our language, which you really understand. And I would use the harsh BAN. And we know what I mean when I say you a BAN. You know exactly what I mean. For those who are not from our culture, that may have flew right over your head. But from those who from us, We know when I say you ain't nothing but a BAN, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you reflect it. So that's a real talk. And you can show me different. So here's what I'm saying. That's a reality. We got too many of those. Too many. Too many in our community. And that needs to be fixed. And we don't need no woman marrying somebody like that because of her desires, because that's going to ultimately destroy our families. Nah, that's the wrong B, Tahira. Nah, that ain't the B I'm using. But we don't need to go there. We on Facebook, and we're having a general talk. But if we're private, and it's just us, some things we understand, and it need to be said the way it need to be said. And you know why? I'm going to give you an example. Let me give you an example. And I'm going a little bit too far, but it's important. Because this ain't the summit. This is a real summit. You understand? This is us. This ain't no, organized, politically correct nonsense. We talking to me and you, right? So we ain't having no fake kumbaya, or whatever they say. Rodney King. Nah, we ain't doing that. Listen, you need to get yourself together. I need to get myself together. And the only way we're going to do that is we have real talk. All this fake, show me some ayat that you don't practice, some hadith that you don't practice to justify your cowardness. Man, I'm not trying to hear that. The Sahaba were lions. They didn't use the verses of the Quran and hadith to do nothing but talk. That's not the companions of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They used the verses of the Quran and the hadith, and they went to war on themselves and their enemies. That's what they did. Whether those enemies were foreign or domestic, whether they lived in Medina or outside Medina, they weren't playing no daggone games. They were serious. So don't tell me Quran and Sunnah. I study Quran and Sunnah. That's chump stuff. Don't and use the Quran and Sunnah for that is almost blasphemous. So don't tell me that. Tell some dude that don't know no better that crap. That's not what the Quran and Sunnah should be used for, to do nothing. So sisters, when I say, be patient, because I don't want you with that. I know what that looks like. I know what it looks like. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. And I'm with other imams, and they talk about it all the time. We see it. It's real stuff. Right? So the summit has to address that. It has to, because it's important to the family. So let me move to one last aspect, and I'll come back with it tomorrow. The taboo word, polygamy, however y'all pronounce it, different ways y'all try to pronounce it. There is a technical, linguistic right way to say it, but it's always interchangeable in our community. Polygamy, they always use different words. Maybe we'll get the technical definition of which is the proper word to use. Having more than one wife. Listen, that 85% that we talked about, they're not qualified to have more than one wife. They can't handle it. So you talking to a sister who married a man like that, and you asking her, why don't you share your husband? Sister, you don't want her husband. Trust me. She don't even want her husband. She just did it over. She jumped out there before she realized who her husband was. No, I'm being real. And y'all know what I'm talking about. That dude can't handle no 2 wives. He's a chump. He can't handle 2 wives, 3 wives. Oh, it's lawful. Not for him. He's a chump. That's haram for him to do that. Oh, it's lawful. Not for him. He will be causing harm, and that's haram. He should not have more than 1 wife. No way. Absolutely not. So what you think, you're deluded. He ain't cut like that. And guess what? The society itself will ensure that the average brother ain't cut like that because he can't handle the financial responsibility of having more than 1 wife, let alone the emotional maturity that it takes to handle 2 women that are emotionally imbalanced and emotionally sensitive. You talking about 2 or 3? He can't even handle 1. What are you talking about? And just to be married and to be miserable is not marriage at all. It defeats the whole purpose. You better off being single. Come on, don't fool yourself. And you know as well as I know, you start off talking all that, oh, we can work together and don't worry about, you don't have to give me no maintenance and I got my own and I blah, 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 until you get married and here you come crying, talking about he don't do nothing. After your nafs is satisfied, after his good 2 minutes or 5 minutes or his medicine and pills and energy drinks and all that crap he used to fool you, to make you think he's Superman in the bed. After all that died, now you got this chump and you mad. Come on. Let's be real. Let's be real. It's not real. It's fake. You sitting around talking about, girl, he put it on me. No, he didn't. That was that drink. That was Viagra. That was that stuff he got from his homeboy. That wasn't him. Are you kidding? When all that stuff wear off, he's good if he's 10 minutes. Lucky. Then he's going to go to sleep. And he still ain't going to pay your bills. Come on, sis. Don't fool yourself. I'm just being honest. And if the men would be honest to you, they'll tell you too. With all his Quran and Sunnah, he got some drinks. Come on, man. Stop. But that ain't helping us. It's not real life. It's not real life. It's not real. It's fake. And it's not going to help us. It's going to destroy our families. Because she's going to disrespect you after the end of it. She's going to disrespect you. And then you're going to get mad and they're going to use your might over her. Come on, man. Let's keep it real. Listen. We trying to win, ain't we? Or we going to lie to each other? Are we trying to win? Or are we just going to play games and lie to each other so we keep losing? Which one? You have to pick it. You have to pick it. I'm tired of losing. And I'm watching us do the things that's getting us blown off the court. No, we got to be real. We have to be real. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story, and I'll close with this story. And it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I knew of a woman, and I knew of a man. And this man was a soldier. He's in that 15%. Man, he's in the 3%. Rare. He was in love with this sister. I won't say in love. He was infatuated with her. She was very pretty, educated, doing dean stuff. And he was trying to marry this woman. And that woman was starstruck by some other chunk who was, I don't know how to say the word. My French is horrible. Even though I was in France, I never learned to speak French. What's that called? It's a French word. When the guy is smooth. You remember the little cartoon, the French cartoon thing? Real suave type. I forget the name. There's a word for that. But this guy had all the attractions, and all the women was just crazy about him, right? So yeah, that Lipe there, Pepe Le Pew, this guy, the Islamic Pepe Le Pew. And that sister, that good brother, that sister was watching internet and listening to lectures and was fascinated by this other dude. And that good brother, who's a soldier, she was like, "You're not my type." Soldier, you're not my type. And you Pepe Le Pew. She went stargazing after this dude, and he broke her little heart. She adorned herself, was already got into that stuff, and he ran through her like a track meet. And then I saw her, and she was totally different. So I said to the brother, I'm like, "What happened to the sister?" "Oh, he dumped her." It's not funny, but it was funny because she was going. I was like, "Whoa!" And couple months, and then all of a sudden, everything changed. I'm like, "Yo, what happened to the sister?" He's like, "He dumped her." I said, "Oh, she got heartbroken." She was chasing her nafs and desires and fantasy island when Allah gave her a real man right in front of her. And don't be like that. That is a real story. I just don't put names. Real story. Right? Real, this is true. I got a lot of stories like this. Imams be holding back. We got a lot of stuff. Right? And to this day, she ain't recovered. Now she's a feminist, Islamic feminist. "Oh, brothers ain't no good." No, brothers wasn't no good. You had a good brother, a soldier. And that good brother is making some Muslim sister extremely happy now. But you wanted the stars and the lights, and all that other crap. And it didn't work. So I'll say all that to say this. Now y'all know we got a lot of work to do with the family. These we can't cover all these issues that we need to unpack in the summit. So that's going to be the work after the summit. But during the summit, we collectively, we have to start putting this stuff on the table and flushing it out and prioritizing it. That's where we're going to need our structure. When we get it all out. So these sessions have to be therapy sessions among ourselves. That's what the summit has to be. A big, fat, therapeutic session. That's what we need. And then we have to prioritize of all the stuff that comes out. And we will have a therapist on hand because we're going to need it. All of us can't take this kind of talk. Sometimes we get destroyed. I do realize that. So we're going to have male therapists on hand, female therapists on hand, because it ain't all just Dean. Some of us got emotional issues. Some of us got mental issues. Some of us need real professional help. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We need it. Whatever it takes to get us together, we need that. Even me, I need therapy. I just got to find a therapist who can handle me because I'm usually too much for them. They end up calling me names. Because I'm a man. Listen, bro. My therapist got to be tough. He can't have issues himself. Or her. Because I'm going to come at you. I'm not, you ain't going to just, I ain't coming, woe is me. That ain't my style. So I'm gonna have to work it myself because I've tried. Therapists can't handle me. So if you want those tough therapists, hit me up. But I'm telling you, if you got issues, I'm gonna pull them out. So get your issues together before you call me. You get the therapist. This is not about me. Well, why did you take it about me? Well, we just talking. How did it get to now? This is not about me. We're talking about you. But it seemed like you the one need the therapy. Nah, let me stop. I'm a mess. I know I am. Oh, Allahu Akbar. This stuff will make you laugh, right? It's not funny, but it will make you laugh. Oh my goodness. So we will have therapists on hand because we're going to, you can't, we have to deal with all this stuff. So may Allah make it easy for all of us. And get your tickets. For real. Get your tickets. We got work to do. And if we do our work, then there'll be a lot of brothers available who are emotionally mature, who know their jobs, who know what they need to do, and who can handle more than one wife. I'm telling you, it's not easy. Sisters, don't jump in no polygamous relationship. Don't rush. And if the man you're trying to marry, if he can't talk to you and his wife or his wives, don't join. If y'all can't have mature adult discussions together collectively, don't join. That's a red flag, straight up. If he talking about something, don't worry, I'll take care of that. No, we ain't doing that. If she can't talk to me and us together, I don't want no parts of that. That's a mistake many of us brothers have made. We just doing our own stuff. And the woman pissed off. Oh, don't worry, sister, I got this. I got her under check. This is the dean. We doing our thing. Nah. Let me talk to that sister. Let me see how she think you such a great husband. And then when she be honest, and then say, listen, man, that Negro can't handle no daggone more wife. He's struggling to do what he's doing right here. That don't make him a bad person. He is who he is. But don't jump. Don't let him play you, sister. Don't let him play you. Because he will for his nafs. And then, once he fulfills his nafs, and that responsibility hit him, he going to find a way to say divorce is lawful too. Just like he said, marrying more than one wife is permissible. When they get too much responsibility, he going to say divorce is permissible too. I know it's the most hated thing, but it's lawful. All right, y'all, I'm getting silly. You get my point though, right? So let's protect each other, please. If we really concerned with each other, let's protect each other. We are the 3453, and all these should be capitals. Seriously, protect each other. We need to. We have to. We all we got. Don't let us hurt each other. We can't afford that. Right? As a collective, we need each and every one of us to be whole. We need it. We desperately need to be whole individuals and whole families so we can be whole communities and productive. So we have to be real with each other. We can't fake it. It's not working. We've been faking it for too long. I love y'all. May Allah make it easy. Barakallahu bikum. Inshallah, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Don't forget, please share. And hey, listen, if you disagree, I'm welcome for a debate. I like debating, so we could have a discussion. You disagree, even if you become right, because I'm gonna challenge you, right? We could do it. Hit me up. We could talk about it. I don't mind. But we're gonna have a pre-talk before we have a talk, so you ain't just looking to talk junk. We're gonna have a real talk, and then we have a real talk, and then we have that talk live. So we don't waste time, because we don't got time to waste. If you're a joker, we're gonna discover that in the pre-talk, right? But if you're serious and you got some real points and we can really bang it out, I'm down. I like my ideas to be challenged, because that's how they become strong convictions. So I don't mind going back and forth, right? That's why I don't run from Wahhabis, because it makes truth is truth. Steel sharpens steel. Let's do it, right? All right, barakallahu bikum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Abdul Wali, you ain't allowed. You ain't qualified to disagree, black man. You don't want no smoke. Go sit down. Go make a live. You ain't ready. All right, barakallahu bikum. Anytime, give me a call, Wali. My phone is always open to you. All right, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.